much respect for the 49ers. And I think what's really cool is this team has found a bunch of different ways to be able to win football games. You come off a 44-42 game the other day, and then you win 12-6. And, our group did what they needed to do to be able to get it done. And the defense just felt like they were coming up with, stop after stop. What a pick by Darius Williams. What a great job by Kobe Turner getting a couple sacks. Really proud of Josh Carty to be able to go 4 for 4. We needed every single one of those. And then thought as the game went on, we really struggled offensively. The weather was definitely a factor early on in terms of some of the things that limited what we could do. It was a lot more of an issue than I think probably what would have been recognized on the TV or even if you're just in the stadium. But there were times when it did slow down. And I thought Matthew made the plays that he needed to make. I thought Kyron ran really tough. We were able to sustain some drives. It felt like we stayed a little bit more connected in the run game in the second half to be able to at least sustain possession and move the football, get some first downs, run some clock off. And like we know we'd love to be able to finish those with touchdowns in the red area, but the Niners, they did a great job defensively. There's going to be some great things we can learn from, but we'll take the win. And like I said, I'm really proud of this football team.
Josh Carty went through some adversity earlier this year. What did he show you tonight?
Not anything that I didn't expect, Jordan, but that he's steady, he's consistent. He's kind of unflappable, and he went out there, and even the long one, the 48-yarder, he knocked that thing true, and it was firm, and had great trajectory on it, and then the next three were excellent. They're a little bit closer range, but he did a great job. I was really proud of him, but I don't know that I was too surprised.
Kyron had 29 carries in the Buffalo game. 4 days later, 29 carries. I think they were career highs.
Wow. Did not know
Can
that.
you put that in perspective?
Glad that he's got a few days of rest, Sam. I think the type of game that it ended up becoming, like a little bit more, opportunities to be able to get Blake going a little bit. But Kyron's a guy that we have so much trust in. You get into some of those situations where the latter parts of the game, it's a one-possession game, and he's the guy that's done a great job for us. And I love some of the responses he's had after a few weeks back. He's taken great care of the football. I think he's run really hard and tough. And he's a guy that brings such an energy to our football team, and I think guys thrive off of that. Love Kyron Williams, and he sure had a bunch of energy after the game. So for him to be able to have 58 carries over the last 2 weeks is really impressive, or over the last 4 days, I should say. So we'll look forward to getting him healthy and rested and recovered. But he's been a stud. Been really proud of him.
What does that tell you about the defense, that they're able to bounce back from Sunday and keep seeing things?
They're resilient. They always have the ability to respond. This is a young group that has demonstrated the ability to do that, Adam, and that's one of the things that I think has served this team well. And I also think it serves us well that there's different ways we can win a football game. Now, we'd like to be able to put it all together, but to be able to do that, that's a real strength, and that's something that we're going to take as a positive. And we're going to always use all of these games as learning opportunities. We're going to get ourselves recharged and refreshed and try to have a great week and see if we can put a complete game together. But for us to be able to win 7 of 9 after the bye, the way that we started, I think this group is getting better. There were some things that we can certainly clean up. I do think the conditions were a factor, and that's a team that has as much respect from me as anybody. They're so well coached. They got great personnel, and they were fighting for a lot of things tonight, and they made it a really tough, difficult game for us, and our guys came out on top.
Sean, where does the resiliency come from, not only to battle back from 1-4 on the season, but to find those different ways to win, as you said?
I think it's the players, and then I think, our coaching staff. Those guys have been steady. They've consistently brought the energy poured into them, but our players, they're resilient. They love football. They love preparing. They love the process. We challenged our guys a few weeks back to really say, hey, no matter what happens, let's make sure there's no regrets. After the Philly game, hey, there's X amount of days left that we're guaranteed. There's X amount of games, X amount of practices. Let's make sure that we bring everything that we've got every single day. When we look back on this, no matter what happens, there's no regrets. And I think our guys have done that since then. And it just so happens that it's coincided with some good results. But I want to continue to see those guys have that same sort of approach, continue to try to have this upward trajectory, and it is nice to be able to continue to play meaningful games in December.
Do you guys control your own playoff destiny? What's your message to your team ended?
It's the same. I don't know about all that. I just know that we've got the next game, and we're going to go do our best to be able to prepare to get ready, put together the right plans, put our players in the right spots, and then ultimately let's try to see if we can have it culminate in a great opportunity in that 3-hour window and see what it looks like. But I think our guys have been really steady and consistent, and we can only be one day at a time, one game at a time. That's what we'll continue to do. And, I'll let you guys handle all that kind of stuff, and we'll focus on trying to get ready for the Jets.
Coach, with the early
Worse
conditions,
than it looked on TV?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, worse than it looked on TV?
Saying the weather?
The weather?
I
What was
would
it like?
imagine it was.
What was it like down there?
It was, there was moments throughout the game, mostly in the first half, where it was raining and it was coming down hard and you're not able to change out the balls and it's wet and it does limit your ability to grip it, be able to throw it, control it. And so a lot of the different plays that maybe you would want to activate in some different settings are kind of crossed out off the play sheet for the given time. Now, it did have a little bit, different feel to it in the second half, but it was definitely an issue, particularly in the first half, Sam.
Coach, with the conditions,
Go ahead.
no, just with the conditions early on, when did you guys kind of shift to know that, hey, we're going to have to really focus on time of possession to win this game?
I think it really felt that way throughout the game, because you could see the defenses were doing a good job being able to control it. They had the one big play to Kittle. I thought our defense settled in right there on the second drive and forced the field goal. It was a good job by Moody to be able to hit that long kick, but really it kind of felt like that was kind of the flow of the game throughout. Did feel like offensively our guys were able to get into a little bit of a rhythm in the second half. We just didn't finish drives in the red zone, but we got a couple explosives. We were able to get down in tight position. The holding call where it comes back, when you're down on the 4-yard line, that was a challenging one. That moves us back, takes us, out of possible 4-down range where you're going for it. And so we'll have some great opportunities to be able to learn from it, but it felt like really throughout the course of the game, that was kind of the flow of
We
it.
do Jordan and Gary.
Thank you. A few plays before Darius's interception, Kello had a deep pass breakup as
Yeah.
well. Secondary allowing the explosive pass plays this year went up and down, but how did you see those two guys prepare tonight and step up for you when they did?
I thought Akella was awesome. I really, and you felt that from very early on. They tried a little, kind of play action double slant. He ends up breaking that up. Jordan was able to come over the top. Cam Kitchens had a big one when they tried to activate Debo down the middle of the field. But Aubrey does a great job with those guys. And in a short week, getting them ready for such a challenging opponent, I thought they really answered the bell. Even Cam Curl, I'm thinking about on the down the sideline shot on their near sideline to Kittle, gets his eyes back. Q did the same type of thing. And so felt like it was a great, team effort. All those guys made plays, but Akella was outstanding. Was really proud of him, and that's a cool deal to be able to, come back here and play the way that he did.
Gary, last one.
Kind of a double question. What was your thinking on the read option for Matthew down near the goal line? And after scoring 44,
Well, you didn't like that?
I thought it was. I just wondered what the thinking. Well, no, I mean, what was your thinking going into that? And then also after scoring 44 points,
Not very good thought there, huh? After you got the holding call.
against the Bills and not scoring a touchdown, do you come off the field and it's like it doesn't even matter because you
Oh
got
yeah,
the win? I mean,
our goal is to try to be able to come away with the result, and I'm really proud of the way that we played team football, and you could feel that was the kind of game it was going to be. Now, would we love to be able to finish some of those drives in the red area? No doubt, but that defense is playing really well. I thought they did a good job. They limited some things. There was some decisions when I look back that I did not like that I made in real time. The read option, I didn't think that was as bad as you made it sound like.
not that it was a bad call. I just thought
just
you're
kidding,
with Stafford
No,
running
the
the
thought
ball.
process was that they're not expecting it, Gary. No, so he ended up that didn't work out for us. But sometimes it's a way of being able to gain back a hat. When you're able to read somebody instead of having to block them. And they did a great job being able to string it out. Ultimately, it got the hold. But I thought he showed some toughness and some grit right there. He looked like a potential face mask on that one too. So it was a great job by our guys. But it was, I was proud of them. Different ways that you can win football games. And those style points, we'll take it. I'm proud of this group. Thanks, guys.